some people will ask, you wake up so early on every Monday to Friday. Why do you wake up so early on Saturdays? Well, because on Saturday, I wake up to do my own thing. Not just to pick up my kids and all that. Go for a drive, put the roof down, and listening to my news via my headphone, and just chill and cruise. Not even driving fast, I'm driving like 70, 80. Probably later will be 100. Not even sure you guys can hear me clearly because the wind is blowing. But yeah, it's for myself while my kids are asleep. Cheers! I just want you guys to look at this. I know the city hasn't light up yet. It's gonna be a lot more pretty at 7 a.m. but still, it's so nice. It is so nice. Look at that. You know, one of the most amazing thing about driving a convertible, let's say, see now I'm going 75, right? You can see my windscreen is full of raindrops. It's raining. But inside here, it's dry. That's the beautiful thing. The wind actually creates sort of like an invisible umbrella. And very, very little raindrops are coming in, even though it's pouring outside, and I'm just going 74, 75, and that's enough. But of course, later going up the mountain, I'm gonna slow down, and without the wind creating a barrier, raindrops will of course come in. As I slow down now, there'll be more rain coming in, but so far there's literally none for now. Yeah, very interesting. So yep, that's the nice thing. You know, you kind of smile thinking about it, because others may be thinking, oh, this guy must be pouring, must be soaking in the rain. But it's not. It's dry. There's nothing in here. Oh well. That's nice. Let's go. Yep, that's what makes it fun. Early morning, sun rises up, and then you have curvy mountain roads to enjoy the drive. And the wind. And then we arrive at the Temple of Speed. This is it. And then you see all our friends one by one. Look at all of them. Yay! Morning! LC500 today. Yes. Dosan. Morning. There we go. Yep. Let's go. My dash cam, no worries. Just the annoying electronic door handles that are prevalent in all cars now. Maybe I'll explain a bit why they exist. Okay, in a perfect scenario, the reason this was created at the first place is so that when there is an oncoming car from behind, or a motorcycle or a bicycle, when the car detects it, it can disallow you from opening your door. That means when the sensor detects something, when you press your electronic handle to release the door to open it, which may kill the biker or the cyclist behind, this can save that person's life. But like all advancements of technology or innovations, there's always good and bad. And the bad of this is, you know, like when things go wrong, emergency, you wouldn't know whether it works or not. Right? That's the part. So I don't think we need, in this instance, I don't think we need technology. It's the same as what, you know, trying to solve this, trying to see this as a problem is in a way, should I call it antisocial? I'll give an example. Parking our cars under trees is a very natural thing that people have, especially in regions like our climates, right? We wouldn't want to park our cars under bright sunlight and then heating up the whole car. We rather park it under a tree. But parking our cars under the tree comes with the risk where human beings have understood for the longest of time that branches may fall, it may damage your car. It is an understandable risk, albeit in low precedence, whereby the chances of it is very low if you were to calculate the probability, right? But it happens. But that doesn't mean you should chop the tree down to prevent this. You know, I see some, because where I stay, right, there used to be a lot of trees, but like all public forums, because we have a Facebook group for this neighborhood, right, you see people suggesting that, oh, the trees should be chopped off because the branches may damage cars. I'm like, what type of logic processing in this person's mind, thinking that, oh, let's chop that tree in case the branches fall on cars, and next time when I park my car, I'll look for the other remaining tree. It's just weird, right? So this, in my opinion, is of the same logic, which is a false logic, right? Riding bicycles on the road or together with cars comes with their risk, right? And it is a risk that both users of the road would have to understand and bear with the consequences, right? A cyclist cycling along a row of parked cars should always be vigilant that any doors may open at any time. You cannot put 100% of the responsibility onto that person in the car. He may check his mirror, he may forgot to check his mirror. Forgetting something is a very, very normal human trait. We forget our phones, we forget our stuff, and it's not something done intentionally. You cannot say you must remember to not forget. That itself is a you get what I mean? How to remember to not forget something is impossible. Just snaps off your mind and then it happened, right? Anyway, another thing, of course, that there's news that Mazda is removing all the buttons in the cars because that's what consumers wanted. I don't know about that. Probably consumers are saying your screen ain't large enough to do more things like modern cars do, and since they enlarged the screen and the buttons on the screen seems to be bigger than the buttons that they have physically, and they removed it. which I think very wrong move. I applaud Mazda previously for intentionally putting the screen far away, deep into the dash, and forces you to use Mazda's equivalent of iDrive. As you can see in the current generation Mazda 3, they place the screen far away. You're not supposed to touch it. You're supposed to use that thing. And the linear menu system, where you look through a few options and then you select and then you go in, that has been perfect for the car environment all these while. You know, you don't want to be bombarded by 25 options on that level of menu, right? You want it to be proper. And I think with larger screens currently, a very easy way for car makers to rethink the whole approach to UI would be visual guidance. You know, currently if you go into a BMW or a Porsche for that matter, it's everywhere. Even Volkswagen and Audi, that seems simple at first because they just use icon base, right? They will still end up the same, whereby they do not know which item is blocked, is grouped into where, right? So I think a visual guidance would be easy, such as a car that is shown there, and then it shows you, you know, what you want to adjust. You know, the front part of the car or the outside of the car, and then the rear passenger side of the car, and then you can group things under communications, and then in communications you have, you know, pair your phone or whatnot, and then when it comes to driving related stuff, in-car lighting related stuff and all that, you know, you don't put in-car lighting, group it under comfort. You get what I mean? Yeah, so there's a whole rethinking process that needs to be done here, and I think car makers would eventually have to reverse back. The whole big screen thing is, big screens are alright, but the UI and all that, everyone say, well, Tesla is good, Tesla is good. Yeah, but no, it's not. Right? When you have a big screen environment, why do you have toggle buttons? Toggle buttons were created for mouse clicks, right? In a touchscreen environment, it's an up and down motion of your fingers poking the screen. It should be touch to on, touch to close, not swipe. Yeah. Swipe only works when, let's say, if you really want to put your aircon switches on the screen, then you have a large portion of the screen where you swipe your fingers up and down. I think Apple did it perfect. Steve Jobs did it perfect. In a swipe screen environment, right? If you want to go, your UI want to go with swipes, right? Things that people adjust: the aircon wind blowing volume, the air temperature, and of course music volume. What other things that is suitable for swiping? Not much. And you don't have to separate touch stuff to go there. You can differentiate with multi-touch. Apple has perfected multi-touch. The whole industry using it. Humans have been taught multi-touch since 2007. So a multi-touch environment will be perfect, right? Anywhere on the screen. If you use one finger to swipe up or down, it's volume. 2 fingers will be your aircon volume. 3 fingers will be your temperature, and so on and so forth. I don't know. So there's a lot that can be done, I think. Alright, anyway, these are some of the things that I noticed in the newer cars. And what else? We saw news of Stellantis having major losses in China. I think in the next few years, the traditional European brands, if they don't, actually I don't think they need a few years, they have to do it now. They are in dire situation if they don't buck up. And the whole uncoupling of manufacturing regions is actually hurting car makers, because the world developed differently. So at different countries, different regions will be at different stages. And at different stages, different industries are suitable for different regions, right? So this whole uncoupling of the world, they are the collateral damage. If they unknowingly support politicians that support deglobalization, they will die. They will die first. Because it doesn't make sense, right? Your region, your society has progressed beyond mass factory manufacturing, right? And if you don't, you don't see it in a way that, you see, as your country gets richer, your population gets richer, there are jobs that they just wouldn't do. And there are people from other countries that will do the jobs that you provide, and then they will come to your country and do your jobs. But at the same time, when you are shipping out your manufacturing, your citizens can also go to other countries to do that kind of work. And then if your society has become rich, what you do to sustain your country, you attract other rich people from poorer countries to come to your country. We have been doing it right over the past, 20, 30 years of globalization. But it is them who initiated this decoupling, and it is them who will be hurt by this decoupling, right? Because, put it simply, you just can't manufacture low price items in countries like these. You have to manufacture high-tech stuff if you want to be a manufacturing-based country economy, or you can just wind yourself down and behave like a country in retirement, like Portugal, right? Like Greece. Just chill, right? Can you imagine if one day Greece have a politician that wants Greece to become a manufacturing superpower house? Friction will happen, right? It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so for I'll give an example. Brands like Jaguar, right? They are in coma now, and I don't see a way out for them. I really do not see a way out for Jaguar, right? Land Rover, yeah, the brand ethos and all that's still there, but the whole notion, the whole branding, the brand, the logo means it deserves to sell at 2 times the price, 3 times the price. This whole market practice that has been taught to the world by Europeans might come to an end very soon, and it comes in different industries, right? In the early days of refrigerators, brand perhaps matters, right? But now refrigerators are everywhere. Consumers don't really bother. They look at the size, they look at the price, they look at the performance, the warranty program, and they go ahead with it. I mean, to them it means very little whether the brand is higher or whether the brand is, Panasonic or Samsung. It matters very little. And that's the reason why, what's that Japanese brand? Famous refrigerator Japanese brand, Hitachi. Yeah, that's why Hitachi doesn't work anymore. I mean, I have a Hitachi fridge, yeah, but that's why they are so small now. It no longer makes sense to consumers. And what China is doing with cars, the way all the big manufacturers are launching new brands left, right, center, in a way has accidentally shifted consumers' mindset to no longer look at brand. Because if I don't know you anyway, I look at your design, I look at your interior furnishing, I look at your fit and finish. In a way, it trained consumers to be not so obsessed with brands. So the next time they go into a BMW or they step into a Porsche or a Land Rover or a Jaguar, they will judge the cars the same way they judge those unknown brands. Look at their plastics, look at their fit and finish, look at the features in the car, and then suddenly they realize, hey, that car that costs 1/3 your price seems to have better stuffs everywhere. Because back then, it is very straightforward. The more prestige logos can sell at higher prices, hence they can afford higher quality materials to be fitted into their cars, which poses a significant difference with cars that are priced lower, right? But what China is doing now, because of their efficient manufacturing, they're able to put in high quality stuffs at low prices. And Chinese being Chinese, Chinese mindset is, if it costs me 200 to build this, it is a crime to sell something that cost me 200 and sell it to you at 1,000. Chinese can't accept that. A Chinese mindset is, it cost me 200 to build, I sell it to you at 300. Wow, that's a 50% margin. Man, I'm rich and I should stop there. I shouldn't go any further. That's the Chinese mindset, which is very different from the European and Japanese mindset of branding, marketing, messaging, packaging and all that, and then try to maximize profit margin. It's a very different mindset. Hence the result. So I think for European brands, if they were to really want to go into the EV game, they just have to be transparent with themselves and set up their supply chain in China and price their EVs only slightly above that of Chinese makes, just to justify themselves, which is a far cry away from their ICE car prices. They wouldn't be able to price match their EVs at their best to their ICE cars. They can't. I don't think it works. And for traditional European brands, whether you like it or not, it seems like you have to go into motorsports and racing and sports cars to maintain your heritage, because you have a heritage in those. You cannot run away from it already, right? No matter how small you are, you have to go into racing. You must have sports cars in order to have a differentiation with the Chinese brands, and you have to find your way to make it profitable. Even if it's a small works team or something, you have to. And then there are certain segments that you have to give up. You have to accept the fact that not every brand can exist as a mass market manufacturer. Not every brand will have the chance to reach that kind of volume numbers. It's impossible. You just have to accept that fact. Yeah, it's sad. Or you just pack up and leave. Right? Yeah. Oh well. Sad for someone like me who has a passion with automotive industry's history. I feel sad seeing a lot of brands that I think they no longer have a reason to exist. Many of them are under the Stellantis group. It's very scary. Many of them, they just don't make sense anymore if they don't buck up or change their business structure. I believe the business structure of telcos works for car industry. That means instead of keep on manufacturing, just keep producing cars after cars and squeezing that 3-4% profit margin, you should turn your whole business around to not be manufacturing based, but rely on subscription, really cheap subscriptions for car owners to subscribe and use your cars, and then you maintain them. That means anybody can walk into a Stellantis dealership and say, I want to subscribe a car, but not your new cars, I want the old ones. I want to subscribe a 20-year-old one, you know, that is maintained by them. And yeah, that means the cars that you manufacture are cash cows for you for the next 10, 20, 25, 30 years. You know, you slow down your manufacturing, and manufacturing production factories should be shared by manufacturers, by different brands. They should be shared, and then each one will have their own outlets to lease out or let consumers subscribe to your cars instead of scrapping them. The reason they scrap them because the banks and the car makers all want consumers to buy new cars. You can still sell new cars for people who want, but there should be an abundance of, you know, the older the car is to subscribe, the cheaper it is to subscribe. So your car, even though when it's 5-8 years down the road where the car has already paid for itself, it is still generating money for you. You know, I think that's the only way out for certain car makers. The current business model of relying on manufacturing means everyone needs to chase themselves into a critical volume. To reach that critical volume, then only you are profitable. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, right? You look at the computer industry. Is it that important for Acer or Asus and all that to have their own motherboard, their own graphics card and all that? No, it has to be decentralized, right? So the era of Dell is gone. I mean, so then it's your in-house UI, your in-house software, and how you integrate a customer's driving experience journey together with their home, with the way they use everything. I think Xiaomi is on the perfect track to do this. Xiaomi is the only car maker in the world now that is poised, that has the perfect position to integrate their car into somebody's lifestyle, because they manufacture household appliances, the software behind it, the phones, all these, they are in the perfect position to integrate their cars into someone's 360 livelihood. And not just that, Xiaomi is in the stable coin game, you know, a form of crypto, but it's not, you know, the ones where you can speculate. So Xiaomi is really on the right track. If not Xiaomi, okay, a few car makers that work with Huawei, yes. Yeah, so I think compared to what the Chinese have, CarPlay and Android Auto are kindergarten stuff, you know, just can't be compared. And it's crucial. If you look past the whole automotive landscape and the risk involved, if you look past all that and see where they should be heading in terms of shared manufacturing, shared batteries are shared now in EV world. The electric powertrain and the batteries are shared anyway. You see what I mean? Do you still need your own factory when everybody buys the same battery and the same motor from suppliers? Why do you even need your own plant? Right? Just a giga plant that manufactures for everybody, and then you have your own sales channel, and you focus on customer service. You focus on a subscription-based service, and then you compete on service, and then you focus on subscription. In that world, the integration of your car and your life and the customer's life is tantamount, is very important, because how else you can upvalue your services? You have to integrate with their life, right? That is the only way. And with the advent of AI, and AI being so powerful now, can you imagine, I changed my subscription to that company because they have an AI assistance, right? When I'm driving, the car will remind me that, your appointment is where, and then, there's an email that came in while you're driving that changed your current appointment to that time frame, you know? And the whole contextual understanding of it, right? Like, imagine your car telling you that you're heading to this appointment now, you still have 30 minutes of driving, but there is a text that came in from your wife. The AI should know wife is more important than colleague, right? There's a text that came in from your wife, or a voice message. It doesn't even need to play it, right? That came in, and there is an emergency now at home. This is the shortest route back, and I can help you send a message to whoever that you are meeting that you have an emergency and you need to veer off, and now you cannot talk. You get what I'm saying? It is important for these to be integrated in order for them to be profitable in the future. So they should put their focus into all this. It's no longer how fast my EV can accelerate. Is absolute bullshit now. Who needs a 1 second 0 to 100 car? Who needs that? Right? In fact, in the future, I tell you, in the future, there will be laws governing. Right? The car should be aware of its contextual surrounding on whether it allows you to accelerate like that. The context is important. So, yeah, it's a scary future, but so far, I think only car makers who are working with Huawei and Xiaomi is on the right path. The rest of the European car makers who are still trying to bamboozle you and themselves into believing their single long screen in front with widgets that you can play around is the thing that will help them sell their next car, or their stupid ambient lighting. You saw the new BMW X3. I cannot say how stupid that is. One of my most beloved brands, they are all in a denial phase. I can tell you, during the development of the current Gen X3, they actually do not know what to do. They really do not know what to do, what to focus on. Hence, they play around with stupid ambient lightings like that. They have no idea. Even the current iDrive, the long screen that is in the current 5 Series and all that, I can already tell they do not know what to do. Hence, they're trying to come up with things that fills up the screen real estate that they have. They really don't know what to do. They're lost. So, find a partner, like, you know, be it Google or Apple. Apple is in deep shit now. Apple is in deep shit. Yeah, the way they can roll out their AI without having any is they're in deep shit. So phones and cars have more in common than you think. Because why phones can charge this kind of prices, why cars can charge this kind of prices, and why your spectacles and your watch can charge this kind of prices, because these are things you use every single day. Things that you use every single day have an inherent ability to charge higher prices than things that you don't use that often or next to you all the time. Right? Why, have you ever thought why our phones are 9,000 ringgit or 8,000 ringgit when our fridge can hardly charge us 5,000? Right? Because it's not next to us all the time. Cars, phones, spectacles, watches are next to us all the time. They're crucial in our daily life. So there's so much value to be extracted. Don't put your value in your stupid manufacturing plant trying to squeeze 3-4% of margin. That's not your future. That is not the future for car makers. It's not. It is in the software integration and services aspect, and that relies integration with your phone. Yep. their heritage, you know. Oh, I'm Mercedes-Benz, I invented the automobile. Who the hell cares who invented fridge? Think about it, right? When cars are more and more prevalent, you know, models or designs all come out, right? Nobody cares who invented what, who's the first to do what. Only idiots like me will care, because you can say I'm a historian or what, I'm just passionate with this, but I know it's no longer that important. Really, nobody cares whether you are the first four-wheel drive that go racing quattro. Quattro, X-Drive beats quattro big time now, right? I remember asking this question to an Audi Quattro engineer. So Audi used to have their performance division called Audi Quattro GmbH, and then they renamed to this stupid name called Audi Sport. Yeah, tell me about it. They renamed to that, and then I asked that engineer, with the advent of Haldex based four-wheel drive system, that means a clutch that is electronically operated and it can couple and decouple so fast that no mechanical system can compete. So I asked them, in the advent of electronic four-wheel drive systems, does mechanical quattro have a future? And he bluntly looked at me in his sad face, say, no, there's no future in your mechanical based four-wheel drive system. There's no future. Yeah, the electronic coupling is the future. But when compared to cars with 4 electric motors, you know, electric motors used to be like this, right? The huge drum rotating inside. Now it has become this flat, right? Those flat, tiny electric motors, those are the future, man. And imagine one at each corner. I mean, some of them already do this. One at each corner. The way they can, you know, microsecond adjust power to go where is amazing. Yeah, anyway. Okay, it's too long a video. I can see the timer here. It's like 30 over minutes. Wow, been a while since I got here. Look at how big the Phantom is next to a flying spur.